Introduction. Have you ever wondered about the true nature of magic in Islam? In today's video, we're diving deep into the concept of magic and its origins to uncover the truth. Is magic really as supernatural as it seems, or is it just an illusion? Stay with us as we explore the fascinating story of the angels Harut and Marut in Babylon and what their tale reveals about magic. Magic is often portrayed as something mystical and powerful, but what does Islam say about it? We'll dissect the reality behind these illusions and understand how they pale in comparison to the immense power of Allah. By understanding the origins and nature of magic, you'll see why it should never be a source of fear for believers. We'll also discuss the role of jinn in these illusions and why their actions are trivial compared to Allah's might. So, what is the real story behind magic? And how should we, as Muslims, view it? By the end of this video, you'll have a clear perspective on why magic is merely a test from Allah and not something to be feared. Let's uncover the truth together. Understanding magic in Islam. To begin with, let's define what magic is from an Islamic perspective. Magic, or sihr, in Arabic, refers to practices and phenomena that create illusions of supernatural occurrences. It's important to understand that magic is an illusion and does not possess real supernatural powers. The Quran and Hadith make it clear that only Allah has control over the supernatural, and any appearance of magic is merely a deceptive trick. In Islamic teachings, magic is often associated with the actions of jinn. Jinn are beings created by Allah from smokeless fire, and they have the ability to manipulate perceptions and create illusions. However, their powers are limited and insignificant compared to the power of Allah. When magicians use the help of jinn, they create illusions that seem extraordinary, but these acts do not equate to genuine supernatural events. The Quran addresses the concept of magic and its limitations. In Surah Al-Baqarah, 2-102, it is mentioned that magic cannot harm anyone except by Allah's permission. This verse emphasizes that all power and control belong to Allah alone. Magic and the actions of jinn are trivial in comparison to the divine power of Allah, and they cannot alter the divine will. Understanding this fundamental principle helps us recognize that magic is not something to be feared or revered. Instead, it is a test from Allah to see who remains steadfast in their faith. Believers are encouraged to place their trust in Allah and seek refuge in Him from any harm that magic might seem to cause. By doing so, they demonstrate their belief in the supremacy of Allah's power over any illusion created by magicians or jinn. Moreover, magic has no real benefits and often leads to harm. It is condemned in Islam because it can lead people astray and cause them to commit acts of disbelief. Engaging in or believing in magic is considered an act of kufr, disbelief, because it implies attributing power to something other than Allah. By understanding the nature of magic in Islam, we can dispel the myths and fears surrounding it. Recognizing it as an illusion created by jinn with Allah's permission, we see it as a test of our faith. Our belief in Allah's ultimate power should reassure us that no harm can come to us from magic without His will. In the end, magic is a trivial matter compared to the greatness and power of Allah. Story of Harut and Marut. Now, let's delve into the intriguing story of the angels Harut and Marut. According to Islamic tradition, these two angels were sent down to the ancient city of Babylon, known today as Iraq. Babylon is considered one of the oldest civilizations, dating back to times even before the Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. It was in this ancient city that the story of magic as we understand it today began. The Quran mentions Harut and Marut in Surah Al-Baqarah, 2-102. Allah tells us that these angels were sent to the people of Babylon to test them. They were given the knowledge of how to control or access the jinn, which is essentially what we refer to as magic. However, their mission was not to spread magic, but to serve as a trial for the people. Harut and Marut made it clear to anyone who approached them that they were a test from Allah. They warned people not to commit kufr, disbelief, by engaging in what they were about to learn. Despite this clear warning, many people still chose to learn from the angels. The angels taught them the art of magic, but with a stern disclaimer. Studying this knowledge would lead to disbelief, and it was a test of their faith. This story highlights an essential aspect of Islamic teachings. life is a test. Just as the people of Babylon were tested with the temptation of magic, we too face various tests in our daily lives. The story of Harut and Marut serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of making the right choices and staying true to our faith. The people who learned from Harut and Marut used their newfound knowledge to create discord and harm. They could cause rifts between a husband and wife and bring about other forms of mischief. However, it's crucial to understand that they could not harm anyone without Allah's permission. This underscores the point that magic, like everything else, is under Allah's control and cannot surpass His will. There are two main interpretations of the role of Harut and Marut. The first opinion is that the angels directly taught people how to perform magic. They provided the knowledge but emphasized the consequences, making it clear that this was a path to disbelief. This view suggests that the angels themselves were the direct source of magical knowledge. The second interpretation, which is slightly different, suggests that the angels did not teach magic directly. Instead, they informed people about the existence of a group of jinn outside Babylon who could teach them magic. The angels warned people that seeking out these jinn and learning from them would lead to disbelief. This version emphasizes the indirect role of the angels in the spread of magical knowledge. Regardless of which interpretation one follows, the central message remains the same. Magic is a test from Allah, and engaging in it leads to disbelief. The story of Harut and Marut illustrates the dangers of succumbing to temptations and the importance of adhering to faith. Understanding this story helps us see magic not as a powerful, mystical force, but as a test of our faith and obedience to Allah. It reminds us that no matter how enticing or powerful something may seem, nothing can surpass the power and will of Allah. By staying true to our beliefs and trusting in Allah, we can overcome any test, including the temptation of magic. The test of magic. The story of Harut and Marut underscores a crucial point in Islamic teachings. Magic is a test from Allah. The angels were sent to Babylon with the knowledge of magic to test the faith and resilience of the people. This test was designed to see who would remain steadfast in their belief in Allah and who would be tempted by the allure of magic. When the angels arrived, they made it clear that their purpose was to test the people. They explicitly stated that learning and practicing magic would lead to disbelief, yet they did not force anyone to follow them. This voluntary choice was an essential part of the test. The angels' warnings were clear. Engaging in magic was a path to kufr, disbelief, and those who chose this path did so at their own peril. The people of Babylon who decided to learn magic from Harut and Marut used it to create discord and harm. They could cause separation between a husband and wife and bring about other forms of mischief. However, it is crucial to understand that their power was limited. The Quran emphasizes that they could not harm anyone without Allah's permission. This point is vital as it reinforces the belief that all power ultimately belongs to Allah, and nothing happens without His will. Magic, in this context, is not just a mere illusion or trick but a significant test of faith. The knowledge and practice of magic are seen as severe transgressions because they imply a reliance on something other than Allah. This reliance leads to disbelief, as it contradicts the fundamental Islamic principle that Allah is the sole possessor of all power. The angel's role in this narrative serves as a reminder that tests and temptations are a part of life. Just as the people of Babylon were tested with the temptation of magic, Muslims today face various trials that test their faith. The story of Harut and Marut illustrates the importance of remaining steadfast in one's beliefs and not succumbing to temptations that lead away from Allah. Understanding the test of magic helps demystify the fear and allure associated with it. By recognizing it as a test and understanding its limitations, believers can reaffirm their faith in Allah's ultimate power and control. This perspective encourages Muslims to seek refuge in Allah and trust in His protection, knowing that no harm can come to them without His will. Implications for believers. Understanding the reality of magic and its origins carries significant implications for believers. First and foremost, it removes the fear and mystery often associated with magic. By recognizing that magic is merely an illusion and a test from Allah, believers can dispel the exaggerated fear of the supernatural. This understanding reassures Muslims that nothing can harm them without Allah's permission. For believers, it is essential to place their trust in Allah and seek refuge in Him from any perceived harm caused by magic. The Quran and Hadith provide numerous supplications and prayers for protection. Reciting these regularly can strengthen a believer's faith and shield them from the negative effects of magic. The story of Harut and Marut teaches us that reliance on Allah is the key to overcoming any trial or temptation. Moreover, understanding the triviality of magic compared to Allah's power helps believers focus on their faith and worship. It reminds them that no matter how powerful something may appear, it is insignificant compared to the might of Allah. This perspective encourages Muslims to stay true to their beliefs and not be swayed by illusions or temptations. Engaging in or believing in magic is strictly forbidden in Islam because it contradicts the core tenets of the faith. Magic implies attributing power to something other than Allah, which is considered shirk, associating partners with Allah. Therefore, practicing or even dabbling in magic is a serious transgression that can lead to disbelief. The story of Harut and Marut serves as a warning against falling into this trap and emphasizes the importance of adhering to Islamic principles. Believers are also encouraged to educate themselves and others about the reality of magic. Dispelling myths and misconceptions can help the Muslim community better understand and cope with the concept of magic. By sharing knowledge and raising awareness, Muslims can support each other in remaining steadfast in their faith. In conclusion, the story of Harut and Marut and the understanding of magic as an illusion highlight the importance of faith, trust in Allah, and adherence to Islamic teachings. By recognizing magic as a test and placing complete reliance on Allah, believers can overcome any fear or temptation. This understanding empowers Muslims to stay true to their faith and seek Allah's protection in all aspects of life.